We think in the crypto space, for example, there are three revolutions taking place: a money revolution, a financial services revolution, and a digital asset property rights revolution. And they're all big. The biggest one, though, is the money revolution. That's Bitcoin, because it's the first global, digital, decentralized, private, no government oversight, rules-based, critical monetary system in history. We think that's a $20 trillion idea by 2030. And right now, I believe Bitcoin is valued in the marketplace at roughly 700 billion, something around there. So that's a very big idea. And many people in the developed world don't understand how big it is because they are not growing up or living in an emerging market, which is going through hyperinflation and which is destroying purchasing power and wealth. So it's really taking root there. And we do believe when the SEC approves a spot Bitcoin ETF in the US, and we think it's close, and we hope to be among those approved, that will be key. That will be a seal of approval for institutions to diversify into a new asset class. So very big idea.
In a recent interview, Cathie Wood, the CEO and founder of Ark, shared her compelling perspective on Bitcoin's future trajectory. Wood envisions Bitcoin's current value of $700 billion skyrocketing to a $2 trillion asset class, reflecting an extraordinary 30-fold increase from its present levels. This ambitious projection would peg the value of one Bitcoin at an astounding $1.3 million, underlining Wood's bullish outlook on the cryptocurrency's potential. Cathie Wood breaks down the crypto landscape into three revolutions, with the first being the money revolution dominated by Bitcoin. Wood asserts that Bitcoin's inherent superiority as a form of money positions it as the frontrunner in this financial evolution. Her confidence in Bitcoin's ultimate success stems from its perceived advantages over existing forms of currency. As the interview unfolds, Cathie Wood hints at an opportunity she deems even more substantial than the ascent of Bitcoin and the broader crypto market. This revelation, which she believes will shape the next 5 to 10 years, adds another layer of intrigue to Wood's insights, compelling viewers to stay engaged until the video's conclusion for a deeper exploration of this potential game-changer.
Please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to drop your comment and observations in the comment section below. Thanks and enjoy the video.
Now, artificial intelligence has taken a lot of the oxygen out of the room in terms of discussions out there, with the exception of the regional banking crisis. And something very unusual happened during the regional banking crisis to Bitcoin and to other crypto assets. Typically, Bitcoin and crypto generally are risk-on assets. You know, they tend to do very well in an overall bullish environment. What happened during the regional bank crisis, we had the regional bank index here in the United States imploding. We had banks going bankrupt, and Bitcoin went up from 19,000, up nearly 50% to 30,000. And we thought, wow, this is proof positive that Bitcoin is also a risk-off asset. What does that mean? It means there's no counterparty risk, unlike in the banking system. We've got a very decentralized, transparent network. No, you can see all the activity taking place by IP address, no counterparty risk. So a very big idea. In terms of AI is the biggest catalyst to all of the innovation taking place out there right now. So we have centered our research and investing around 5 major innovation platforms. They are robotics, energy storage, artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, and multi-omics sequencing in the life science space. We have a scoring system that measures which technologies are the biggest catalysts to the accelerated rate of growth of other innovations. In other words, there are convergences taking place between and among technologies. AI is the biggest catalyst. It scores, top of the heap. And we think that every company will have to harness it or lose out competitively, either cost structure wise or new products and services wise. The other side of this is trying to figure out who are going to be the biggest beneficiaries of this absolute boom in innovation. And we think the biggest opportunity out there in the next 5 to 10 years is autonomous taxi platforms. Many people call them robo-taxis. And we think that could scale from essentially nothing today to an $8 to $10 trillion revenue globally, including China, in the next 5 to 10 years. And I know a lot of people say, no way. You see Cruise Automation or Cruise here in the United States, owned by GM, had to basically shut down its autonomous, and GM's pulling away. This often happens with new innovations. And you see players who should stay in the market pulling out, just saying this is never going to happen. And then all of a sudden, it happens and they're not there. We think Tesla is the biggest, performing the biggest AI project in the world. And we think it's in the pole position here in the United States to get what will be a winner take most opportunity in the robo-taxi space. And the interesting thing about that is that will redefine how people think about Tesla. Right now, they think about it as an electric vehicle manufacturer. That's a low margin business. It's in the gross margin category. It's some players are as low as 10 or single digits in China. And we think Tesla will get on the EV side to a 30% gross margin. If autonomous is the next big play here, then that's a SaaS model, software as a service model. And the gross margins there are in the 80% plus. It will redefine what Tesla is doing completely. And so Tesla is doing what Apple did in redefining the wireless space. It developed its own chip, the only cell phone manufacturer to design its own chip. And today, it's number one in the smartphone market, computer in your pocket. The others did not define the market that way. Tesla's doing the same thing, only company to design its own chip, and it is redefining the mobility market into autonomous mobility. Technology is collapsing. If you look at artificial intelligence AI training costs, they're dropping 70% per year. And just to put some color into that, if ChatGPT if that model had been developed in 2015, 5 years before it actually was, it would have cost about $500 million to develop it. In 2020, when it was developed, it cost only $4.5 million. Today, it would cost $200,000 or less, and the costs continue to fall. So the other thing that's happening with AI in particular is we're talking about large language models and natural language processing. All of us can do that. All of us speak natural languages. So we all could become prompt engineers if we just prep a bit and use platforms like Replit to help us program. Replit does 80% of the work with artificial intelligence itself. So I think access is going to increase. And this network of VCs funding, the companies in the Valley, that is going to be an old model. There are innovation centers springing up around the world. We moved to St. Petersburg, Florida, in 2 years ago because we saw that it was a fertile place for innovation, and we wanted to make a difference and attract tech companies there. And that is happening. It's happening all over the US. It's happening around the world. When I visit the world, there's such an appetite to learn about innovation, and policymakers understand if they don't do something about this, they're going to be losing out competitively and leaving high value add positions to other countries. So we're seeing, interestingly, regulatory arbitrage taking place. To give an example, blockchain technology. The US, from a regulatory point of view, has been terrible. The EU has been much better in terms of clear regulations, as opposed to the US, all muddled and confused. So a lot of talent has moved into Europe, and actually some of the products they're building, they won't even let US users use, because we live in this regulatory regime. So I think there's going to be regulatory competition, and kudos to Europe for being much clearer in that way. Europe is, though, very complicated. This is why we entered the market with a partner. The different languages, the nuances and regulations in the different countries. There may be, EU regulation, but then there's country by country. And then, of course, very importantly, relationships. So there's a lot to overcome. But again, the barriers to entry are dropping when it comes to technology specifically, and regulations are where a lot of the competition is taking place. Now, on that score, I think anyone focused on AI is a little scared of Europe. Just because, well, we learned from GDPR, that it's complicated in Europe. Yeah. Nonetheless, what has actually happened is we actually abide by GDPR at Ark because we want to service the European community. So, it will happen over time and it'll work itself out. And I think we're going to be using AI. We've just hired a chief investment strategist who's an AI expert to create a heat map of companies, innovative companies around the world, so that we can go and find them. Because again, as the barriers to entry come down, we want to meet these new companies wherever they are. Well, technology is inherently deflationary. And in fact, we've centered our research around that concept. The learning curves in technologies, each different technology, means lower costs, which are passed down into lower prices. So we think we actually think we're going into a deflationary period for two reasons. One is good. I just described it, innovation. We'll see unit growth booming in these new technologies, and costs and prices falling. The bad deflation will happen because, well, first of all, we think monetary policy has been too tight, and we're already seeing commodity prices capitulating. Commodity prices today, as measured by the Bloomberg Commodity Price Index, it's called BCOM, are today where they were in the early 80s. We do not have an inflation problem. And in fact, I think some people are going to be looking back at this period and they'll begin to talk about Kondratiev. I don't know if that word means anything to you, but the Kondratiev waves, which are very long cycle deflationary waves. And I just told you there's been no inflation in commodity prices since the early 80s. If you look at it from that angle, and you look at where monetary policy is now, where do we go? Well, we would be going down, and we have been going down. So that's going to be very disruptive as well, as is innovation when it comes to the old world. It's going to disrupt, disintermediate, and perhaps destroy lots of parts in the old world. We see what's happening with traditional internal combustion engine powered cars, right? They can't afford to cut prices, but EVs can, because it's a much newer technology. And so they're going to be in a world of hurt, we think, during the next 5 to 10 years as EVs take massive share and continue to cut prices.
Cathie Wood, the CEO and founder of Ark Invest, delivers a comprehensive analysis of Bitcoin's potential surge, envisioning a monumental rise to a $20 trillion asset. This bold prediction implies a remarkable 30-fold increase, potentially elevating the value of a single Bitcoin to an astonishing $1.3 million. However, the narrative takes an intriguing turn as Cathie not only outlines the trajectory for Bitcoin but also introduces a thought-provoking perspective. She contends that artificial intelligence and self-driving cars could overshadow even Bitcoin and the broader crypto space, emphasizing the dynamic and ever-evolving nature of the financial landscape. Wood's insights provide a nuanced view of the future, unraveling the potential for a transformative journey in both the cryptocurrency realm and emerging technologies. Her ability to foresee not only the possibilities for Bitcoin but also the broader impact of technological advancements underscores the complexity and constant evolution within the financial world. Stay tuned to explore the multifaceted dimensions of this narrative as Cathie Wood unravels the intricate interplay between Bitcoin, emerging technologies, and the dynamic nature of financial markets. For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these two awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.